Chapter 95 Demonic Name Resounding. Famously, Han Li raised his head and stared at the arena. Regardless of whether they were members of the Seven Mysteries sect or the Feral Wolf Gang, all of them had no hint of color on their faces as they stared at each other with expressions of dread and fear. Whether it was retrieving the flying sword, killing Monk Golden Light, or instantly turning Jia Tianlong's 10 bodyguards into ashes, all of these actions indicated that not only was Han Li an immortal cultivator like Monk Golden Light, but he also lacked kindness or mercy. His methods were even more cold-blooded and ruthless than that of Monk Golden Light. Thus, wherever his gaze landed, the people in the direction of his glare would lower their heads and hide. Nobody dared to meet his gaze. The current Han Li was capable of invoking fear into everyone. Still not getting lost? Could it be that you want to stay on the mountain and have me send you off? Han Li coldly said in the direction of the Feral Wolf Gang members. The sound of his voice could not be considered loud, but the thousands of people currently at the mountain summit could hear him clearly, causing them to be terrified by his voice. Quick, let's escape. If we linger here, he will burn us to death. An unknown person shouted. Simultaneously, the Feral Wolf Gang and the rest of the invaders from the smaller sects instantly became chaotic as they pushed one another, trying to be the first to run off the mountains. The stream of people rushing down caused the small mountain path to be extremely crowded. Along the way, many of them were grievously injured and even trampled to death. Shortly after, the setting sun summit was emptied. Other than the members from the Seven Mysteries sect, there was no one else. Wang Juchu was astonished and elated. Never would he have thought that the danger his sect faced would be so easily averted or that Jia Tianlong would be destroyed so forcefully. However, there were also traces of uneasiness in his heart despite his happiness. He knew that since Han Li could easily avert their disaster, he could also pressure the Seven Mysteries sect with ease or even destroy it, causing them to become the current Feral Wolf Gang. As sect leader Wang thought of this, traces of worry once again appeared in his initially relaxed heart. Involuntarily, his gaze shifted to the center of the arena. Where's Dr. Han? The shocked sect leader Wang drew in a sharp breath. Earlier, that indeterminable expert, Han Li, had disappeared without a trace. Did anyone see Dr. Han? Wang Juchu hurriedly asked. No idea. Didn't notice. Almost everyone in the crowd had no idea where Han Li went, but this was only to be expected. After all, their attention had been fixed on the method that Han Li used to burn his opponents. Who would dare to turn their gaze from that inhumane monster? Because of his ghostly body movements, if Han Li didn't want them to track his movements, it would be extremely simple to achieve. There's no need to look for him anymore. I saw that he had mixed himself with the crowd and has already departed from Setting Sun Summit. Many gray-robed men opened their mouths and asserted this once their countenance recovered. Already left? Where was he going? Sect leader Wang had a complicated look on his face. He bitterly smiled, murmuring to himself. As he contemplated his surroundings, his gaze landed onto the certain corpse. Wang Juchu's eyes suddenly shined with a bright light as his lips curled into a smile, revealing the look of a crafty old cheater. At this moment, an incomparably excited Li Feiyu talking to Zhang Shuer. Because his good friend suddenly exposed himself as a powerful expert, Li Feiyu didn't notice that he became the focus of someone's attention. Just like this, the Feral Wolf Gang and the rest of the invaders retreated rapidly out of the Celestial Rainbow Mountains. They abused their horses, rushing through the night, in order to quickly leave the Seven Mysteries sect's territory. Because the power of the Seven Mysteries sect's upper echelon had been severely damaged, sect leader Wang did not send men to pursue the retreating invaders. That day was an extremely long day. Once the day had passed, both the Feral Wolf Gang and the Seven Mysteries sect laid down their flags and ceased their drum beats, entering a ceasefire to recuperate from their losses. This time around, the battle between both parties was a fight with many twists and turns. Before long, word spread of a legendary immortal, as well as a demonic figure. This legendary tale caused members of both good and evil sects to discuss this topic relentlessly, transforming the story into one that would echo endlessly through multiple generations. In the story, the great battle began with a supreme sword wielder, capable of unleashing sword beams from his sword, fighting against a sword immortal that could fly by stepping on his flying sword. In the end, the sword immortal's flying sword techniques were too mysterious, even mightier than the sword beams, and thus the sword immortal easily defeated the supreme sword user. Making use of this opportunity, a fiery demon suddenly appeared and killed the sword immortal right after the supreme sword user and the sword immortal had injured each other. The demon also went berserk, invoking his flames to kill over 1,000 spectators. One of the casualties was the unlucky Jia Tianlong, commander of the feral wolf gang. He died without a corpse, disintegrating into dust. At the border of God Hand Valley, Han Li heard the story in which he became a fiery demon from Li Feiyu's mouth. He stood his ground in shock, speechless. Meanwhile, Li Feiyu was cracking up and bending over in laughter to such an extent that he couldn't even straighten his back after half a day. It was noontime, the 5th day after the deathmatch. That night, Han Li silently hid himself within the crowd and left Setting Sun Summit. Once he found Crooked Soul, they returned back to God Hand Valley. Once he was back, he hung a sign that stated that he would refuse to meet with anyone, even the 7 mystery sects' highest authority, because of seclusion training. Naturally, because of the fame behind Han Li's name, the top-level figures did not dare to show any sense of dissatisfaction, nor did they dare to intrude God Hand Valley without an invitation. They could only wait obediently outside the valley for a period of time and sigh as they returned back the way they came. During the following days, Han Li began using the dwarf's sword talisman to practice the telekinesis technique. Because he knew that he didn't have much time left, he would practice his telekinesis technique even before the sun rose. Every day, he made the glowing talisman soar through the valley and fly unhindered in a dance until his energy was depleted. Afterward, he would close his eyes to replenish his energy before resuming his practice. In this manner, Han Li repeatedly persisted his dry and dull training that lasted for 3 days until he had fully mastered the initial stage of the telekinesis technique.